Hello friends, today I'm going to talk to you about utilizing Evernote in your Beachbody coaching business. On the screen I have the website for Evernote where you can download the program to install on your laptop or PC, Mac, whatever. There are also programs for Android and for the iPhone and iPad and tablets as well. So pretty much you don't ever have a reason that you can't access your Evernote information anywhere because you can log in online and then, like I said, have it on any of your personal devices. So if you click download, then what you will get is you will get a program that is represented by a green elephant. That's the Evernote elephant. When you open up Evernote, you're going to come to what I call your home screen. And on your home screen, you're going to have your top menu bar up here with your file, edit, view, note, format, tools, help. You're going to have a navigation pane. Basically, it's like clicking back on your browser and then clicking forward on your browser. The sync button basically just syncs between all of your devices. The activity is browsing your latest shared activities. So one of the things that's really cool about Evernote is you can share different notes and notebooks with your team if you want to. So you can have chatting, you can see if somebody's been editing a document, things like that. You can create notes really easily. I can view all of my notes. So if I click on this, I'm actually at a point now where if you see, I have a bazillion different notes in here. So in different notes, I can take a screenshot and create a note from that screenshot. And like I said, this is your chatting as well. And then over here is your search bar where you can search for keywords, for tags, for different notebooks, things like that. So the next thing is over here on the left-hand side is your quick navigation pane. And you can scroll up and scroll down. So up here you have your shortcuts. So I put my notes that I use most frequently and need to be able to access quickly up in my shortcuts. For work, my full-time job, I have my to-do list. And for Beachbody coaching, I have my accountability list. You can click on notes, which is what we have right here. So you can see all of your notes. I currently have 120 of them. You have your notebooks, and you can see over here there's the arrow, so you can expand everything. If I close it, you can see everything over here. So I have my notebooks, then I have my tags, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Your Atlas, Market, Premium, and Announcements. Let's go back up and look at our navigation. Under File is where you create new things, essentially. It's just like when you are working with any type of like Word document or spreadsheet. Create new notes, new chatting, new tags. You can import files here, export some of your notes if you would like, attach documents, print, add another user to the account, sign in, sign out, etc. Edit, just like Word. You undo, redo, cut, copy, paste. View, this is where you can change your different views, and we'll talk about that in just a moment here. The one thing I do want to draw your attention to right now is over here to the right-hand side, you see where it says Control-Shift-Alt-W. These are all of your keyboard shortcuts, your hotkeys, essentially, to be able to do different things. First thing I'm going to talk about under the View function is I am going to skip down to this List View area, which is what I have up on my screen now. Take a look. Looks like this right here. So you can see all of your notes in a nice list. And then much like when you're using Outlook or Gmail, your messages or your notes in this case can pop up below. Now, if I would click on Snippet View, this is when it changes to the reading pane is not going to be on the right-hand side, and you're going to get little teasers, essentially, over here of your other notes. Then the last view option that we have is the card view. And the card view shows you the different cards of all of your different notes and everything. So you get a little bit more, and like you can see, you can actually click through just about everything. Now, under View as well, you can look at your shortcuts. You can look at your left panel, which is, like I said, kind of like your secondary navigation. You can show your notes list, you can jump to notebooks, jump to tags, all of these different things. Under Note, you can open the note in a new window. which is Control Enter. So it basically opens up the current note in a new window pane. You can tag a note. You can start presenting your notes. So if you have a notebook and you want to give a presentation, you can do that. You can move the note from the notebook that it's in to a new notebook. You can delete it. All of those things. If you look under Format, this is where you're looking at your fonts, your paragraph styles, inserting tables, your to-do, like you can do a to-do checklist with the check boxes. Your tools are syncing, your options, your account information, and then, of course, help. So now let's go ahead and look over here on the left-hand side on the secondary navigation pane. So you have your shortcuts, like I said, the notes or notebooks that you need to access quickly, so they always show. Then you have your notes, so this is when you're looking at notes individually. Then you have your notebooks, and if you click on that, you'll see up here, I have all of my notebooks. So I have Beachbody ones, I have my work stuff, I have my most recently used ones. And the one thing I want to draw your attention to is, like, if I go over here and I click on that arrow, what you're going to see is that I have stacks. Notebook stacks is what they're called. So I create different notes and I add them into a notebook stack. So for example, let's create a new notebook. I've been doing Insanity Max 30. I've already got one for that, 21-day fix. Let's do PIO because I do a lot with PIO as well. So we'll create PIO as a notebook. So now what we can do is we can look over here and we see PIO is not with my Beachbody stuff. So I'm going to go down here, I'm going to click it, and I'm going to drag it up, and I'm going to put it in the Beachbody stack. So now I have PIO in my Beachbody stack. So these are all your different notebooks and how you break things down and you add your notes to the different notebooks. So think of it like when you were in junior high and you had to have the binder to keep all of your different subjects and your different periods separated. This is basically what this is like. This is your Trapper Keeper. Now, if we look at tags, and I click on tags, you can see all of the various tags that I have. Every time I add something new to Evernote, I tag it with something. So if it has to do with leadership, I will tag it with that. If it has to do with marketing, 21-day fix, Insanity Max, dietary stuff, nutrition guidelines, things like that, challenge groups. So tags are those themes that run throughout your various notes or your various notebooks. So we'll go through more of that in just a moment. Your atlas is all of your notes. Every time you do a note, especially if you do it like when you're on your iPad or your phone or something like that, it basically shows where the notes originated, which I think is fantastic. So you see I have a bunch of notes right around this part of the United States, and then I have notes over in Europe as well. It's really cool just to be able to see that I have one note that's in Europe, and it shows me exactly where they're at, and it shows me a little picture of whatever the note is. Market is basically where you go. You can purchase a bunch of different tools and products that will help you if you use Evernote a lot. I have not ever purchased any of these, but the more I use Evernote, the more I'm convinced that I might want to do it. I currently have a free trial or a free Evernote product, so I'm limited on the number of notes that I can have and different things like that. But there is a premium option that you would pay a fee for that lets you do actually quite a bit more. The functionality is amazing. So you can search inside documents, you can do meetings, add more files, do more on your mobile device, so you can either pay $45 a year or $5 a month. Your announcements are basically the new things, the updates, the changes, how to more effectively use Evernote. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of my notebooks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my Beachbody notebook here, and I'm going to look at just my general Beachbody folder. So I'm going to double click on that to open it up. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change this to the list view because I feel that that's a little bit easier to work with. Now the list view, I like it for a number of reasons, simply because I can see everything, I can organize everything. I still have a preview pane down below, so I can see when I updated things. So you can tell today I've updated a lot of information. I can look at the title of the note. I can see what notebook it's in. This is helpful for when you're doing searching. I can see what the tags are on my specific notes, the sizes, if it's been synced or not synced, or if it needs to sync, and the source URL, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and take a look at a particular note. that I have on here. And I'm going to go ahead and choose one I know that has a lot of information on it. We're going to pick day 2 here. What I'm going to do is double click on that and open up this note in a separate pane. When I get the note, I automatically create the title. So this is the first thing that I do, is create the title, and I call this day 2 because, like most coaches, we run challenge groups, and in your challenge groups, you need to check in on a daily basis. And for every different type of product, there's different kinds of check-ins. Sometimes you want to change it up a little bit. You have a repeat challenge group where you have a lot of what I call veteran challenge groupers. They're in your challenge groups all the time. They keep going. They're strong. You're crossing your fingers that they're going to be coaches someday. What I've done is I've actually copied, some information about what I've, posted in my groups. So this right here, I did a day 2 Transformation Tuesday, and then these are the pictures that I uploaded. Then if you look down a little bit farther, you'll see another post. So I use these divider lines to separate the different posts that I've used. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I did to create this note. What I did was, obviously you can change the font size, you can change the font color, you can make it bold, italic, underline, you can do a strike through text and highlighting. So like, let's say I felt like it was important to draw attention to the fact that this was day 2, I could highlight day 2 and then click on highlight, and you see that day 2 is now highlighted, which I like. And this is actually a really cool feature that I'll point out later on when we're talking about articles. You can do bulleted lists, numbered lists, checkboxes. So when I do my to-do list, I do it in checkbox fashion. When I'm done with something, I can just check it off and move to the next item. You have your justification, indent or outdent. So like, let's say I'm over here and I wanted this to be indented. I click on this and it indents it. Click on this and it outdents it, so to speak. You can insert tables, just like when you're using Word. I can do a 4x6 table, whatever you do, you can insert a table. And this is a divider line. So if you see right here, down here, what I just have highlighted, this is a divider line, so that's separating my different posts. So I use the divider line a lot. This is if I wanted to attach a file. This right here is I am recording what I'm saying right now. So if you click on record, it will listen to me talk, and I can read or annotate a file or jot down a quick idea. Done. I save it, and you look, and it's right here. So I could go ahead, if I was really interested in it, I click play and listen to how horrible I sound right now. Other interesting things about the notes, you always have your created date, you always have your updated date, and then if you copy and paste from any website or any source, that URL is going to be right there. So I can tell that I copied and pasted from a Facebook group. So, and again, up here you have your other buttons and all of your menu bars. So you can delete it, you can check on the info, location. I could do me as the author every time. Sync status, it needs to be synced since I'm changing it. All attachments have been indexed, so I can actually search now. The history, I can view the editing history if I have premium. Another thing that I really enjoy is, let's say you do your master list follow-ups or use Evernote for your master list, you can actually set reminders. Right here I just added, by clicking that, I added a reminder. Now I can add a date of when I want to follow up. And then also you can see which notebook is in and my tags. Let's say I wanted to do another tag, Transformation Tuesday. It's always a good tag to have. We always post those in Beachbody. They're fantastic. I just added a new tag, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. You don't have to worry about saving either. It automatically saves whenever you type in anything new. You can just close things out. You never have to really worry about losing your work unless you accidentally click delete. That's the basic note functionality. If I added a new note, that's basically what you would go through. So I mentioned the tracking of your master list and your daily accountability before. So let's go ahead and take a look at my list that I have. I'm going to go ahead and click on daily accountability, and you can see my note right here below. In my team, we are supposed to post something daily about what we accomplished, and this is the format right here for our daily accountability. What I've started doing actually just today is I've started tracking all of that. Put in the date, so I'm actually going to go ahead and get ready for tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click down on my bottom row and then a right mouse click, and I'm going to click insert row below. So now I am ready for tomorrow. However many friend requests, every time I send a new friend request in Facebook, I am going to increase that number here. Any friend requests that are accepted or those that I accept, I'll put those here every time I increase that number. I'll put it on my Google Sheet, and then I'll increase this number. Anybody that I invite to anything. So today I talked to Beth about coaching, and I talked to Lee about joining me on a web chat about Insanity Max 30. She's had a lot of great questions. I want to show her a little bit more about the program. Then I have my master list. How many people did I form off of my master list today? And I did 6 of them. Just a little shout out to the whole idea of the FORM acronym. Fantastic. Gets me wonderful results every single time. People are absolutely touched that you check in with them. So it's definitely helped me out in my business. Follow-ups, I put the name, first name, and the program or whatever I followed up with people on. Whatever workout I did, so I did Max Out Power and my Greenberry Shakeology. And then my personal development for the day and discoveries. So I watched a webinar, reread form training, and watched YouTube videos on form training. And then one discovery that I had today was that posting all of my hashtag max out times has gained a potential customer. Actually, it's gained me a couple of potential customers. The last thing that I want to show you is the ability to import articles, websites, screenshots, things like that. If you use Google Chrome, you're probably aware that you can do different extensions. Let's go ahead and go to the Beachbody website, and I am going to go to the Beachbody blog. Let's go ahead and take a look at an article. Let's do an Ask the Experts. I love these articles. Now, this is an article that I think would be great for just to share on my Facebook coaching page, as well as have handy for people that are new to challenge groups or haven't worked out in a long time or are wondering when they should work out, when the ideal time is, things like that. I want to save this article for quick access later on. So I installed the web clipper extension. It's the elephant up here. And I'm going to click on that, and automatically this little pop-out comes up. I want to save the whole article. Like, I don't want a simplified article. I don't want just whatever's on the page. I don't want a bookmark. I don't want a screenshot of it. I want the whole article. I can go down here under the organized section, and I can pick which notebook I want that in. So I want it in my Beachbody notebook, and then I'm going to go ahead and add tags. I have it set so it automatically tags this as an article. It's about healthy eating, nutrition. I'm going to go ahead and add that. And I think that's all I'm going to do for that one. You know, I may come up with stuff later. But then I can add a remark to this. So one thing I'm going to do is write a remark that this is good for new challenge group members and those who bonk, like me. I'm going to go ahead and add that note in. There are different options that you can look at. I'll click on that real quick. You can pick that your articles or your web clipping automatically goes to a specific folder. Some people always put things in the default folder and then go through at the end of the day and tag everything, and they organize everything by tags, not by notebooks. I'm not like that. You can use smart filling. You can do automatic tags. So like I said, I always have mine tagged with articles. You can set your own preferences. Now, you see my cursor right now is a highlighter, and that's something that I want to bring up. Let's go ahead. These are the areas of importance to me. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that and get those changes in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Save. So now you'll see that it's processing. It's actually clipping the article, and now it's syncing everything to Evernote. It's now clipped. This little confirmation page shows up, so it'll also show you related notes. These are all clips that I've taken from teambeachbody.com. Then what I can do is, like, let's say I found a really good article and I want to share it right away on Facebook. I click on the Facebook logo there, and I can share it that way. I can tweet it, I can do it on LinkedIn, Google+, I can email it, and I can hyperlink it. The other great thing is, let's say I really want to share this article on my coaching page, so I can actually set up a reminder for myself to do that, and you can add a date. So we'll go ahead and close that out. Then I want to go back over here to Evernote. I'm going to sync everything real quick, see if I can find that note. So I'm going to click on Updated and have it sort, and there's my note. So you can see it went into the Beachbody notebook. It automatically tagged under articles, and it's highlighted down here. So I have articles, healthy eating, nutrition, and I have my reminder right here. I know that I have other documents that I have reminders on, so I want to see what those are. And one of the unfortunate things is in the list view that I currently have here, the reminders don't show up. There's not an option for reminders. But if you go under snippet, you can see that once you have your all notes up, your reminders populate right here. One last thing I want to do with you today is share 3 different applications that are also part of the Evernote platform, and they feed directly into your main Evernote program. So the first one is Penultimate, and Penultimate is really cool because it is something that I use on my iPad, and it's handwriting. Really good when you're on the fly or you're out networking. You obviously can't have your computer with you, or if you're in a meeting, you want to take notes. This is the way to go if you have an iPad. The next application that I want to show you is called Skitch, and what Skitch is basically it's a photo editor. So I took a photo doing Insanity Max 30 right now and did plyo push-up jacks and hated them. I took this note in here and just put some smiley faces, writing on it, etc. I can draw. I can do a lot of different things. The other thing that I use it for is if I ever record myself while I'm working out, I notice my form is bad, I will take a screenshot of that form and then mark where I need to watch and what I need to look for, because we want to make sure that we're not hurting ourselves. The last application that I use is called Hello, and what it is it's actually business cards. So if you look at what you can do with it is this is actually imported things from my LinkedIn files. It gets all of your information off of LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. And you can actually go to the websites and check this out. So here's Hello, and it says, remembering people is hard. Evernote makes it easy to remember encounters and share experiences. So you can take pictures, you can write notes, all of these things. I have this actually on my phone for when I go to different conferences and marketing events or just meeting people out and about. Here is Penultimate. Like I said, it's all handwriting stuff, basically drawing diagrams, scribble, sketch, whatever you need to do. And then here's Skitch. So it's all about using diagrams, arrows, drawing lines, using pictures basically to say what you need to do. This is just a little bit of what Evernote can do. This has definitely helped me stay more organized as well as access everything that I need. Instead of having a folder with 10 million documents, I can simply open up one program, do a quick search, and have everything that I need at my fingertips. If you ever have any questions or want to reach out and connect, my contact information is at the end of the presentation, or you can find me on Facebook on my coaching page, www.facebook.com/C Harvey Fitness, all one word. I hope you have a great rest of your day.